Good morning. Welcome to the All for One presentation. Today's topic is All for One SAF-T. In Polish, All for One JPK Jednolity plik kontrolny. We will talk about generating standard audit files from SAP in accordance with Polish law. I'm pleased to introduce our expert, Małgorzata Śliwa.
Good morning.
My name is Oktawia Radzio, and I am the moderator of this presentation. Let's start by sharing the following statement. Polish legal and tax system is one of the most complex in the world. For companies using SAP, it means the constant need to adjust their systems to the new regulations. To meet these challenges, we offer a wide range of all-for-one SAP add-ons, unique SAP extensions. According to your needs, you may choose among more than 40 solutions, extending the standard of SAP systems and adapting the corporate systems to the Polish law and specific industry needs. Today, we are focusing on finance controlling and reporting area. Małgorzata will guide you through All for One SAF-T, the standard audit file for SAP in Poland. And before I hand over, let me mention that All for One SAF-T is a solution proven in more than 250 companies. All right, thank you very much for listening to introduction. Let's start the presentation. Małgorzata, this is your turn.
I would like to focus today on the new requirements in the standard audit file area, which is the standard audit file in income taxes. I will tell a bit about the legal basis of these requirements, what are the biggest technical challenges that we and our customer have to face. I will present the reporting tools available for SAP system, which is the DRC tool from SAP, and our all-for-one JPK solution. For both of the tools, I will present the real-life system demo. The legal basis and the history of standard audit file in Poland. We are approaching 10-year anniversary of the requirements in standard audit file in Poland. The first reporting structures were implemented in 2016. And for the biggest companies. Those companies were obligated to send 5 different files at the beginning on the request from the tax office, and later monthly the structure of VAT report. In the next years, the monthly VAT report became obligatory for every Polish company, and there were significant changes in the reporting data scope. More data and the VAT return calculation was included in the file. Among the next years, the changes happen in basically every of the reporting structure. The second or even the third version of the structure appeared. The companies were still to be reported on demand, the remaining structure except for VAT. In 2024, the new and currently newest reporting structure of standard audit file in income tax were introduced. And now for 2026, we are expecting additional changes due to the parallel requirements of e-invoice in Poland. The reporting structure will be changed to include the e-invoice data in the existing files. What exactly is standard audit file in income taxes? The common name that is used in Poland is JPK CIT. This is only a common name that describes 2 reporting structures. One of this is accounting books with income tax. The second is the fixed assets report. Both of the structure are XML files. The submission should be done based on the fiscal year. There should be one file per year. Due to the technical limitations, the accounting book file can be divided into smaller files by period. So we don't have to report only one file. There can be multiple files that will sum up to the full year report. Both of these files can be submitted only electronically, directly to the Ministry of Finance using the provided tools and API that the government made available for the taxpayers. This files was implemented first in August 2024 by the Act of Law that implemented the new requirements for the accounting books. From now on, the accounting books have to include additional data about the corporate income tax. Later the same year, in December, the Minister of Finance exempt part of the data. That means the asset data will not be required to be reported in the first year. There was 1 year delay. Based on those Act of Law, the accounting books for the companies that their fiscal year starts among the 2025. For this year, the first report is to be submitted, and for assets in the second year, so for the fiscal year that starts among 2026. That will be the first reporting period. Among the Act of Law, the supplementary materials became available. We got the brochures that describe the requirements and technical details of the structures. We got the description of XML files. The webpage with a question and answer appeared, where from time to time the new set of answers appears. And because the Act of Law become published, the companies may request an individual tax interpretation that are binding for tax calculation and submission. The first structure, so accounting books with income tax. The first submission is relevant for the biggest companies, so part of corporate groups and companies where the tax revenue is bigger than 50 million euro. Those companies will be reporting for the fiscal year that starts in the year 2025. So for the companies that follow the calendar year, the first submission date will be 31st of December, first calculation day, and the actual submission of the file is by the date when the income tax submission is required. This is 3 months later, so by the end of March of 2026. The data that are to be presented in the report, the companies present the balance and turnover of every GL account on the lowest analytical level. That means on the subledger level. The accounts should be described by the tax, balance tax and income tax where the list of those tax was provided by the government. And the GL accounts of the company should be mapped to those tax. Together with the balance and turnover report, the company presents the full document journal for the whole year with the details of each posting of the presented document. For the sales invoices, the e-invoice number will be also presented. Since the moment this requirement will be obligated, this starts in 2026. For the documents that are posted for business partners, like an invoices, the number of tax, the tax registration number of the business partner should also be presented. Additional part is the income tax settlement. This is a small structure that presents the values of the income tax calculation. What is important is that this structure do not replace the tax return that is still to be delivered in the current form. And the calculation of income tax that is included in the XML presents much smaller scope of data comparing to the standard income tax return form. In the first year, there are exemptions to some part of data, and that are new requirement. The companies do not have to give this information. They could leave the fields empty, or they could provide initial values. Those are the invoice, the e-invoice numbers. This is due to the fact that the e-invoice is not yet required in Poland. The companies do not have to present tax numbers of business partners. They also do not have to calculate the income tax settlement part, so they do not have to present the totals of the calculated income tax. For the companies that maintain accounting books based on international financial standards, those companies do not have to present balance sheet tax. This is due to the fact that the list of tax was not yet presented by the Ministry of Finance. However, the first version of the list is already under public consultations, and it might be that in the nearest future, the list will be provided. And that since then, in the next years, the companies will be obligated to present also that data. The second part of the structure, which is the fixed asset registry, and the requirement to submit the structure was delayed for every taxpayer. So the first submission will be done in 2027 for the fiscal year that starts in the year 2026. The data to be presented is the full asset registry, so every fixed asset that is kept by the company on the date of the book closing, so the last day of the fiscal year. Additionally, the company is to present every retirement that happened in the reported year. Each asset is identified by the inventory number, the name is shown, and additional data to be presented is the Polish classification ID, the date relevant for acquisition data, so the date of capitalization, the date of acquisition, the document that was the base of the acquisition, and if the asset was retired, then the same scope of data is to be presented for the retirement. That is the document that is based on the retirement, and if the retirement was due to the sales, then the invoice, e-invoice number of the sales invoice. Together with the master data of the asset, values should be presented. There are two sets of values, the tax values and the book values. And for each set of those data, the company should present the acquisition value, cumulated depreciation of the reported year, and the details of the depreciation. So what is the method of depreciation and depreciation rate? If the tax depreciation includes the non-deductible part, this should also be presented separately, the value of non-deductible depreciation. There are also exemptions of the data, and they are permanent. So not only for the first year, like in the accounting books, but for every submission, the assets that were capitalized before 2025, so before the new requirements were introduced, those assets do not have to be presented with every data. So the company does not have to fill up the missing information for the whole history of assets in the company, and that only some fields may be exempt. So this is the date required, the date relevant for acquisition, the document, the acquisition number, and inventory number. The requirements are new, and we have to face some technical challenges when we are preparing the report. On a technical level, we expect a huge amount of data to be presented. This is the accounting books especially. This is a yearly file that presents the full documented journal of the company with every posting and detail of every posting. It will not be technically for most of the companies to prepare, it will not be technically possible for most of the companies to prepare only one file in a year. Therefore, it will be possible to separate the file into smaller batches, for example, prepare monthly files, yet it might still be too much for some companies. We can go down even to smaller time periods, like weeks or days even. The requirements to present the tax income data, those are new requirements, and there were not such a legal basis in Poland to keep such a data directly in an accounting books. Now those requirements were added, and there should be one source of data that would allow us to prepare the final file based on the accounting books. For many of the companies, such an income tax calculations were done outside of the system. The data were exported and calculations were done by tax experts using different tools. Now, at least some part of this data has been included in the accounting books, so the final and complete file can be generated from the system. There are new requirements for accounting data. The income data that I have already mentioned, that the tax settlement is new, and this was usually done outside of the system. But the Ministry of Finance requires assignment of balance sheet tax and income tax. The list was provided by the government, and the companies should map their chart of account to the provided list. This may lead to the need to change the accounts in the chart of accounts, to create new accounts, and maybe to change the posting schemes of some operation to better reflect the requirements of the structure. The fixed asset report, it's completely new requirement. There was always a requirement in Poland to have the asset inventory list and to maintain the asset master as a part of the accounting books, but the requirement was never formalized. Therefore, it is a case for many companies that the asset master data in the system is not maintained with high quality of data. So it might be required to order and review what exactly is stored in the system. The report implemented some additional required data, and especially in the context of SAP system, those data do not have a place in the master data. So the companies should review where they can store this information to be able to generate the system again directly, to generate the report directly from the system. To be able to generate the standard audit file in SAP system, some reporting tool has to be used. Up to now, SAP offered a range of tools, but with the end of maintenance of ECC system, some of the tools will not be available anymore. And there is a new strategic tool called SAP DRC, Documented Reporting Compliance. For the clients in ECC system, those clients can still use this SAP Starter solution. However, this solution was never full. It never allowed to generate the final XML file. It was the responsibility of the customer to prepare that part of XML generation for themselves in the system. This tool is also available for S/4HANA clients in on-premise and private cloud edition. The full solution that was offered by SAP, called PLVAT, is not offered anymore and will not be possible to be used after the year 2027. The new strategic solution, SAP DRC, is offered for S4 systems, on-premise, private cloud, and public cloud. We, as All for One, offer also our solution, All for One JPK. This solution is used for ECC system, S/4HANA system in on-premise and private cloud edition. We do not yet have the version for public cloud. If our clients are interested in implementation of any of those solutions, for example, SAP DRC, we can help and support the clients in implementation of that solution, as well as, of course, in the implementation of our own All for One JPK solution. DRC solution. This is for S/4HANA on-premise and private. This is brand new solution. The first version that were able to be installed on the system, the first transport appeared in March 2025. But by now, SAP provided every structure that is relevant for big companies in Poland. So we have a monthly VAT, we have the income tax with both structure that we're talking about today, and for structure on demand are also included. The online submission directly from the system is not yet available. It is on the roadmap, is planned for the end of the current year. The report currently requires configuration based on SAP best practices. And that means that the company that wants to use the report should work in a SAP best practice way, especially regarding the Polish specific requirements. For example, regarding storing the long invoice numbers that do not fit in the reference fields, regarding the exchange rates, for example. And now I would like to show the real-life presentation of the solution in the system. Here I will use the public cloud system, and the report that will be run is income tax accounting books, so the report we're talking about today. The reports are generated in the app Run Statutory Reports. The user selects reporting entity and the reporting task. Reporting task with defined submission date are scheduled with a submission due date, and progress of the reporting task can be tracked. The user selects reporting task. It is possible to run the report multiple times until every error is resolved. In some cases, missing report-specific configuration blocks the report from being created. To run the report, the user selects the program. It is required to select only the ledger, and optionally, the option to consider sub-ledger account can be selected. The program is running, and the final XML is generated, with or without errors. The errors can be checked and verified in the log. Based on the system version and licenses, it may be additionally possible to preview the file content in the analytic view. I don't have this option here. The XML file is then downloaded to the computer. to be reviewed manually. The online submission is not yet available in the tool. However, the files without errors, for those files, the submission status could be updated manually, and such a file without errors can be submitted to the government. Okay. And now a bit about our all-for-one JPK solution. We developed the tool to report, to create standard audit files. We developed it from the beginning of the requirements, so from 2016. Currently, we have about 250 clients that are using this solution. It is designed in such a way that to only collect the data in the report without interfering with the customer database. It is working in ECC system, in Simple Finance, and in S4 systems on-premise and private cloud. We also have a range of extensions that provide additional feature in the reporting tools. I will tell about it a bit more in a moment. There we have a dedicated team of consultants that support our customers in daily usage of the tools, this standard audit file tool, and also other products that we offer that are Polish specific, like, for example, in e-invoice. Our tool allows to create every structure that is required from the companies in Poland. That is monthly VAT file, 4 on-demand files, 2 income tax structure, accounting books, and fixed assets, and 2 specific structure that are used only by parts of the customers, which is the farmer goods structure and VAT group structure. I would like to show now in the system how the standard audit file of accounting books with income tax can be generated in our tool. Every report file is generated in our main program. It is required to enter reporting period and select reporting structure. For accounting books, no additional selection is required if only one ledger is used. The report data preview allows to see and verify every information that will be transferred to the ready file, including company ID data. The main data on the first screen presents balances and turnovers of the GL accounts, including balance and income tax that are assigned in the report configuration. Every table can be exported to Excel to help in validations. Document journal of items is available under the button Positions. Business partner ID is presented on the document level. It is altered with a suffix and prefix to ensure unique partner ID in the system and in the file. The list of partners is presented in the structure that is a partner list according to the requirements of the file. Tax settlement structure is also part of the report, and it can be edited manually. especially for the fields that do not reconcile directly with the book and accounting values. The validations, according to the XML requirements, are implemented in the program. The ready file that is supposed to be submitted should not present any errors. Those should be resolved usually by adding missing configuration. To save the final file in XML, the structure is first saved in the database, then the file can be exported. To submit the file electronically, the designated file path is acquired. In this case, the file is saved locally to be reviewed manually. Some part of the configuration of the report is made available directly from the reporting tool. Using that configuration, the user can add tags to the newly created GL accounts without additional support from the consultants. The configuration of tags allows to override the standard GL account name if this option is needed. The tool to generate the XML file is the main tool in our range of products related to JPK reporting in Poland. And this is part of the basic package. And this is an obligatory part to be able to run the report and create XML files. We also offer additional extension, where the main one is the JPK Transfer Hub. This is an extension that allows to send the files directly to the Ministry of Finance. Currently, there is no option to test in demo or test version the files, the new reporting structure, which is the income tax structures. The Ministry of Finance do not yet provide that test APIs and test case. However, the existing files on demands or VAT files are submitted by our clients regularly using that tools, and based on the experience from the existing files, we'll prepare the version to send income tax structures to the government as well. We have additional extensions, which is the Excel for JPK. This is a tool that allows to upload additional data to the report, the data that do not come from SAP system, or to alter the data in the report in such a way that any possible correction files will be also created without additional maintenance. So in case that the correction is done to the data, it will not be required to recreate that correction manually each time. We offer also a JPK VAT Change Analyzer. That's a tool especially for VAT structure that allows to compare the submitted VAT report data with the current system data to help to determine if the new file with correction should be submitted or not. We also have the JPK VAT EU declaration that is generated based on the VAT data of JPK. For each of these product, we offer our product support and maintenance. With this maintenance, the users, the clients are entitled to receive update packages that the updates may happen due to the change in legal requirements introduced by the government or due to the new features and quality of life improvements that we implement in our software. We also offer some supplementary products that might be connected with the JPK solution, where the main one is the partner checker. This is a tool to check the VAT and bank data of the taxpayers directly in SAP. Our solution is offered with the manufacturer support that allows the client to receive the daily support and also the update packages, especially due to the changes in the legislation that happens very often in Poland. We ensure that the technical level of XML files is according to the requirement of the Ministry of Finance. The tool is fully configurable as a part of the implementation process. We work with the client to adjust the reporting requirements to their needs and to the business processes as they are designed currently in the SAP system. We do not require some specific business process setup. There is a way to either by configuration or by the programming adjustments to configure the report in such a way that it will reflect the data of the company in the system. To implement the solution, we first deliver the starting package of the solution that can be installed in the system. This is delivered in the form of external transports. Then, if the client ordered the implementation project, we work with the client to adjust the report and test it and ensure that the scope of data and the presentation of data is correct. And after the go live of the report, the client can use the manufacturer support either to request some help on the usage of the tool or to receive the regular updates.
Małgorzata, thank you very much for your presentation. And thank you, dear listeners, for your attention. We invite you to reach out to us if you have any questions or need any further assistance. We are here for you, ready to support you in any ways we can. Thank you very much and goodbye.